requesting to enter the net at this time. Over.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. After the last video aired, I received this comment from Singh Akash Raj Kumar. Russian military hardware is like Wish.com versions of Western hardware. Either they are a lesser copy with an inferiority complex, the Tu-160 Blackjack being a clear example of this. Designed after the B-1B was already flying, it was made larger with more powerful engines. The engines were even designed to emit blue flames when in full afterburner, something that I've not seen on any other aircraft in the world. The Tu-160 was not designed with the ability to fly at lower altitudes or with a reduced radar cross-section like the B-1B, which was designed to penetrate Eastern Bloc airspace and evade the SAM threat. Yes, the Tu-160 has shown itself to be effective at launching cruise missiles at long ranges against static targets, but it hasn't been used like the B-1B, which has done passes at low levels for shows of force or dropping bombs from high altitudes in response to calls for close air support. Another great example is the Su-57 Felon. Yes, the Su-57 has yet to reach IOC with the Russian Federation, but the amount of try to be comparable to the F-22 is just too much to ignore. Sukhoi used the F-22 as the baseline for the Felon. Then they made it bigger, because to the Russians, they love the saying of, "It is just like this, but bigger." But despite being bigger, it also has a slower top speed, slower supercruise speed, and a much larger radar cross-section. The Felon, which originally billed as the first Russian stealth aircraft, was actually revealed to be a merely low observable design, not stealth, once close-up photos of the airframe were produced from static displays at international air shows. In other cases, Russian bluster and bragging doesn't match up with reality when the system is used in combat. The S-400, once billed as the Russian answer to the Patriot system, has shown significant problems in dealing with low-flying targets, including cruise missiles and the aircraft launching them at low levels. This despite the S-400 having high mass-mounted radars specifically designed to look far over the horizon for such a threat. Many Storm Shadow and Scalp cruise missiles launched at targets in the Crimean Peninsula went all the way to their targets without being engaged by the S-400. In numerous strikes, only the much shorter range Pantsir systems were seen attempting to intercept Storm Shadows. The highly bragged about Kinzhal hypersonic missile, once billed as being immune to interception from Western air defenses, including the Patriot, has been shot down numerous times since they were first fired in combat. There are even arguments of whether the Kinzhal, which is really an air-launched ballistic missile, is really a hypersonic weapon at all. While it does fly part of the flight envelope from launch at Mach 5 or higher, it does so without much maneuvering, one of the trademarks of a real hypersonic weapon. The biggest problem for the Russian Federation is the time gap they had in research and development from the fall of the Soviet Union to today's Russian Federation. Many of the weapon systems were originally designed before the fall of the Soviet Union, by designers and bureaus that may now be in a foreign country afterward. This also has caused a brain drain effect after losing a much larger talent pool from the many client states the Soviet Union had access to. From 1991 to around 2005, the Russian Federation had lost access to or had no money to continue developing and producing new weapon systems. In some cases, full factories and shipyards were lost in the fall of the Soviet Union. Speaking of lacking resources for development, be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. They both help the algorithm to allow my content to get to more people and also tell me that I'm making content people enjoy. The shipyards at Mykolaiv in modern-day Ukraine produced all of the Slava-class cruisers, the Admiral Kuznetsov, and had already built the hull for what was then called the Varyag, what is now completed and called the Liaoning of the Chinese PLA Navy. Full design bureaus like Antonov were also lost, denying Russia access to heavy aircraft like the An-124 and the legendary An-225 Mriya, once originally built to be the mothership for the Soviet space shuttle Buran. This means that Russia lost manpower, expertise, manufacturing capabilities, and access to talent and knowledge to continue to make top-of-the-line systems. Couple that with a massive inferiority complex, arrogance, and just plain bragging and lying about weapon capabilities, and you get a military-industrial complex that is only mediocre at building adequate equipment for their clients. When you combine that with training, maintenance, and the effects of corruption, you have a recipe for systemic failure at every level of the process. This leads to bad weapons that are poorly maintained, with operators that are barely trained to maintain or operate the systems effectively. This is why that, even when the costs are considered, foreign buyers are turning to Western and even Chinese firms to buy weapons from, unless they are low-tech systems that can be easily, cheaply, and with large numbers, like assault rifles, RPGs, landmines, and anti-tank systems like the AT-5. Anything else? Then run. Run away faster than someone trying to sell you a timeshare or an NFT. Coming up on the next video, training, corruption, morale, and bad leadership. Why Western-style militaries do better in combat.
Main sail. Stand by for authentication. Over.